What is up, guys? Today I'm going to be showing you some LA-7B-20 gameplay. This will be my first impressions video. It is not stocked on this video clip, but it is because I recorded it previously. But before we get started, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to my channel for more content. I will be putting out a LA-9 first impressions video soon, so stay tuned in for that. But other than that, let's jump right into the video. What is up, guys? Lil GT Kid here, and today I'm going to be showing you the LA-7B-20 gameplay. I probably said that previously in this video, but you know, this is the actual gameplay. So I think I got this plane today. I think it was that day I recorded this video, but anyway, that's not important. I actually found a liking to this plane. At first, I really couldn't get kills with it. I was struggling even trying to get gameplay for it, actually. But once you actually start to upgrade it and stuff, it gets better. Right now it was completely stock, and you're going to see because of my terrible shooting and the sparks that it had. But something that I really like about this plane is, of course, the coloring that it has, and two, I like the fact that it has 3 Berezin B-20 cannons. I'm not sure if I said that right, correct me if I'm wrong, but I like the way how they're like kind of positioned out of order. Like there's 2 right beside each other, and like there's 1 on the other side. I don't know, that's kind of me, I'm worried. But here is some gameplay of the LA-7B, and right now I'm gonna give you a little bit of its backstory, to tell you some facts about it and stuff like that. So check in the description below, and I will leave the link on where I got all this information from. But let's get started. So the LA-7B was a single-seated caliber monofighter plane with a closed cockpit and retractable landing gear and a tail wheel, obviously. So of course this plane belongs to the USSR, or the Russians. It was an energy fighter, which means you have to get high in it. And overall, I think this plane was pretty good at what it did. So its armament was 3 Berezin B-20 cannons, 20 mils, and it had 2 types of payload it could carry. It could carry either 2 Fab 50 bombs or 2 Fab 100 bombs, which isn't a lot for you know, War Thunder, but you know, if you want to bomb tanks or whatever, you could do just that. So some pros and cons of this plane: it is outstanding at fighting at low altitudes. Something else, that it can maneuver great. It's a really good turn fighter if you can put it low. Something else that it has is it can climb well, and it has good acceleration. And the roll rate isn't too bad, but once you kind of get in like the upper, say 500 kilometers an hour, this thing really starts to, you know, lock up, and it can't turn. It is really bad when you get at high speeds. And one of my favorite things about this plane is how the cannons are all mounted on the nose, so it has perfect accuracy for whoever you're shooting at. Unlike American plane Spits and, you know, Japs, most of their cannons are placed on their wings, which is not as accurate, but it still has accuracy. But let's get to some of the cons. This thing cannot perform good at high altitudes. Now, some people could probably, you know, make ends meet at altitude, because I've done it once in the LA-7, but not in this plane. This plane, I prefer to fight low. As you can see here, I'm trying to go get the Tempest. But yeah, I like to fight low with it. But above 4,000 meters, this thing really can't compete. Something that really makes me kind of, I don't dislike this plane, but something that really like kind of messes with it is how you can't really do nothing when you go above like 600 kilometers an hour. This thing completely locks up, and I think it happens in this gameplay. I'm not sure, but it completely locks up. You can't turn with it. When you try to get a lead on your target, your plane is like stuck, and you're trying to push it down, and it's like no. Something else is the way the cannons shoot, I mean, you get 300, I think 350, let's say 300. I don't know. I can't see it. Um, you get, I think 350 is what it says with three cannons. So that's pretty good. But something that kind of hinders it is how fast they fire, which means they're gonna run out faster. So as you see, I'm shooting at the Wyvern and I'm completely missing. I'm shooting over the target. I don't know how to get a good lead with these cannons. You know, everybody's different. I'm not used to even using the LA. I'm more of a yak type of person, but I just couldn't get a lead on the plane. And as you know, the Wyvern, if that's how you say the name, is really, it's a turbo prop, really fast, and he's completely just dusting me right now. So I'm weapon this thing, and as you can see, that plane is completely leaving me. So it wasn't until I think he tried to turn fight or tried to ground pound, and that's when I started catching up. So let's go and talk about the weapons. So the 320s, the uh, what is it? The Berries, I'm sorry if I can't say that right. The Berries B-20s are its main armament and the only one that you can get actually. So I'm shooting at the Wyvern and I still can't even get it hit. So I'm trying to find out, I'm trying to find out a way to work these cannons, but my plane started kind of locking up right there. Then I'm like completely missing, and as you can see, I only have like 100 and so cannons left, and they're just completely spitting out. So my aim was so horrible, and I kept getting sparks and shooting over the plane. And then I run out. So I'm like, I just gave up on a free easy kill. But somehow, I don't know what happened. I don't know if he was going too fast, which I doubt. But he hit a tree, and I got a kill. I was satisfied. Then I had to go back and land. So in all, I wasn't really liking the LA-7A because I was like, these cannons are weak. But then again, I was missing a hell of a lot. Turns out I was right beside the airfield, so I got to land in, rearm quickly. And something that I did like about this plane was the fact that you could take out the landing gear above like 315 kilometers an hour. Because most of the time it'll say retract gear, and I retracted too late, and I just snap them all off. But something that I do with all LAs, and you're about to see here, is I always end up pushing the nose down when I'm about to land, and I do this every time. I swear, I do this every time I try to land this plane. So that's one of the things you gotta watch out for. And I just sat here for a while, just looking. So overall, I really like the LA-7 so far, but I put up 2 kills this game. So we have to wait until I actually repair and get off the airfield, because I completely broke my engine. Now the LA-7 compared to Yaks, honestly, I think Yaks have a better acceleration plus climb rate, and they can maneuver better than LA-7s. But most most of the Yaks, I say there's probably 2 Yaks that I would prefer: the Yak 9T and the Yak 9. Why? Because on the Yak 9T, I really like the cannon. Like, it's, for me, it's a one-hit kill and all that. But when it comes to tier 4 planes with Russians, I really have to go with LAs. Why? Because I am a cannon lover. Now, all LAs have cannons, of course, but I wasn't really digging the ones that had only 2 Shavak cannons. And but once I got this LA-7B, I was like, this thing actually has 3 cannons, and I was like, I have to use it. So after that, I really wanted to get the LA-9, which has 4, and I think they're 23 mils, which means that's more damage. I can just go around clubbing planes. Plus, it can climb and go faster than the LA-7B-20. Now, some of the main purposes for this plane back in the war was, it was it was meant to deceive the enemy. As you can see here, I was about to go head up for it with the F4U1C, which I wasn't crazy, but I was trying to get him to turn fight with me because, of course, like I said, LA-7s perform good at low altitude. So he turn fight with me, and he tries to go in for the head on. So I'm like, I'm too close to not commit now, and I get the kill. Now I'm not sure how I didn't die, but I didn't, and right then I was like, holy crap, this plane might actually be one of my favorite props. So that was basically the gameplay. Like after that, we just sat around waiting for that one bomber. Of course, bombers are going to be high until somebody actually decides to go and get them like that. I'm not sure what was on him. It was a Yak. It looked like a Yak 3, but I don't think he was engaging him because it was So I was just flying here and just being proud of myself and stuff. But that was basically the end of the gameplay as far as kills wise, because other than that, we just sat around waiting for the guy to shoot down a bomber. I don't know if he did or not. I don't know if he shot it down or we went to go ground pound. But I think I went to go test out the cannons against some tanks. So while we're just gonna wait here, I'm gonna give you some more of this history and some of the purposes for it. So it says the key to staying alive in the LA-7 series lies in deceiving the enemy. By flying around 4.5 kilometers altitude, you present yourself as an easy target for B and Z, which is boom and zoom. Aircraft that are flying at high altitude. So, for example, I'm not saying a Spitfire will B and Z you, but most of the time, that's what it will do. Um, Either that or he would B and Z you, fly up and then just get right on your tail like that. But planes that are gonna most likely try to B and Z are F-82s. Well, planes that you find at this tier flying with this plane. It's F-82s, P-51s, P-38s, the tier 4. I think they're the P-38. I don't know. P-38K, I think that's what it's called. But those are the planes that are gonna most likely try to B and Z 10% and all that. So it says, when you spot someone diving at you, break off and evade his burst while slowly luring him into maneuver combat. This way, you will start gaining the edge while the enemy loses his speed and momentum in a turn. So that's basically, you want to get your opponent to dive down at you and try to force him into a turn fight. Now, actually today, I was going against a P-38, and he had more energy than me, had more altitude, but he turned around and tried to turn fire with me, and that actually went in my favor because I shot him down. But if you're going against the LA-7 or if you want to fly it, do not turn fight with this thing at low altitudes. Unless you're like a Zero or a Spitfire, you could probably win. But if you're like a P-51, don't try it because 9 times out of 10 you may not kill him. Plus, a good quick burst at your plane with all 3 of these 20s, you're most likely going to be dead. Right there, I was testing them up against a medium tank, and I don't think they worked. But I went to go try it from the back because the sides are sometimes, you can't kill them there, and I like to shoot them from the back, which is more easy to kill. But back to some of the history. Another habit worth developing in the LA-7B is ammo conversion. Because the available load per gun shrunk compared to the LA-7, it is crucial to only take shots that you know will hit, aiming at them carefully. So that's kind of what I was doing at the Wyvern. So conserve your ammo. But guys, that is it for this gameplay. Subscribe to this channel, like this video. Stay tuned in for my LA-9 video coming out soon. Probably tomorrow, when this video uploaded, depending on where you live, I don't know. But this is Little GT Kids, and peace out. Thank you for watching.